There's the smoke.
Man, that was fast.
Okay. It's the circle of life.
Starting to smoke, I feel the heat. We made fire! Fire! Yeah! What's going on, Fire Team? Welcome back to Shift Fire, the exploration and appreciation of all things military culture. Today, you are tuned in to an awesome segment we like to call FTX, or Field Training Exercise, and you are tuned in to part one of a survival series. Izzy?
We are out here in the wilds of Southern California with Earth Skills instructor Chad Keel. Chad, thank you for joining us today, man.
Thank you guys. I'm really excited to get out here and start some fun.
Hell yeah. What are we going to be doing today?
Today we're going to be going over all aspects of fire. So we're going to make some fire in all different types of ways and talk about, the importance of fire in survival.
We are super excited. Let's waste no time. Let's jump right in.
Well, here we are, folks. We are ready to make some fire. We got the only tool that we're ever going to need. Okay, here we go. We're going to start this.
Cheater!
Well, hold on. Before we get there, I wouldn't say cheating. This is extremely important. And I think that it should be in all of our kits as a contingency. And not only that, unless you're having fun and having some fun with the other ways of making fire, I think this is the way that most people make fire, camping and in a survival situation. This lighter's awesome. It could get wet, so it's basically like weatherproof. It also is a striker, like a flint and steel striker also.
Right.
So in a real hits the fan situation where we didn't have any fuel, we could possibly still get some tinder in there and make a fire.
But what other methods do we have at our disposal in terms of the breadth tools that we can use to make a fire?
Yeah, see a couple tools on the ground.
Right here, just like a magnifying glass. I actually stole this from my 3-year-old daughter. A magnifying glass that you'd use to like burn ants and little plastic army soldiers. Right? That was what I did. You could use that same focused energy, to come in and light a fire, right?
Yeah.
And then this is something you could actually, wear on you like in everyday carry. It's a ceramic steel striker. So you'd be coming here and then pushing out sparks. I don't know if we could see it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's just cool to have on you and
totally.
Try to make a spark.
Totally
really cool.
Multifunctional.
I think as a survival instructor, you should always have 3 ways of making fire on you, and that's not including the friction fire. That's great. You're shooting great hot spark. Say everything is ripped away from us. I've heard lots of stories, people that had everything on them, but they got caught in let's say a flood or something, crossing a river, and they had to bail off their pack and they lost everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now we're moving into friction fire. And that's what we've been kind of building up to. I know we're all ready for
I'm over here anxious. I was like, let's spin this.
So we've already kind of went out and built ourselves a tinder bundle. And what we did is we aligned this tinder bundle in multiple layers that are gonna be great for the coal to burn into. So when a coal starts, the coal starts into like a powder or dust. We call this punk. And that coal is gonna grow and then it's gonna expand out into the most fiber exposed tinder material that we put in the center. And then it's gonna work its way out into more like airy, open, or more woody tinder. And then it's gonna combust and form a fire, okay? There's 2 things that we're gonna use right now. Hearthboard or hearthboard, depending on how sexy your accent is. And then we're gonna use a spindle. It's gonna be that simple.
What are we generally trying to look for in terms of materials to make these 2 objects?
Okay, that's a great question. So if I'm coming down, I picked up a piece of wood, can my fingernail scratch the piece of wood? And if it could scratch, I did that little turn right there.
Yeah.
If you could really get that indent, that's telling me a lot about the wood's material, okay? And capacity to make fire. This is a lot softer. I'm gonna be able to dig into this and almost break through it. That's too soft.
Okay.
Too soft. You see what I'm saying? And then you can get something that's maybe like this, that'd be too hard. I'm gonna have a hard time, decent, but let's all mark that just to get used to that with your fingernail, what that feels like. Is gonna be great for the hearthboard, okay?
And it's something that anybody can do just at a glance, kind of on the spot. I like that.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't know what kind of wood this is, but I know that the principle is that I can kind of run my finger across it and it's gonna give a little bit, but not much.
Exactly. Cool. And from using like batoning methods with, your knife, taking your knife and batoning pieces of wood down, you could make, squares and kind of like lumber that's flat. So that's how you're able to make hearthboards that we're gonna sit and not really rock on the ground.
Okay.
So simple kind of knife skills will help you also build things like that, okay? And then for the spindle, what you're looking for is something that actually has like a hollow pith into the center, okay? So there's like this hollow pith that's in the center. And what that means is this plant is growing in a wash or in a riparian type area and it's sucking water up through the stalk. You don't have to go near water to make fire, but you should go near like some sort of annual wash some low depression in the geology or in the landscape that's gonna lead us to these type of plants. Okay. We're gonna head down to wash areas that are in the low spots to find the spindles, and we're gonna look for pieces of wood that we can put on and scratch with our fingernail. So yeah, this is that hollow, pithy core that's at the center. It's really easy to get blisters. If you're around area where you could throw some sap on there, that actually helps the stick, because when your hand slips down the spindle, it tends to rip the skin or pull the skin, which adds the blisters. I've had a lot of blisters.
Yeah.
You want to be aware of that now. If, I don't have any sap, spit on it. Here's the hearth board. I'm gonna make a divot right here. Spindle can sit inside and spin and not slip outside of the hole. So that's all I'm gonna do is just take my knife around that has that type of shape to make a divot. So now we're just gonna make a divot hole, okay, so that the spindle can sit inside and actually spin without moving out. You could use like a rock with the right kind of edge.
Oh yeah, that just
kind of a point to it. Okay.
It's like a perfect
divot
hole right there I'm pointing to. This is the fun part. We get to make it smoke. All we're gonna do is make it smoke. We're not gonna continue on to make the fire. What that does is it marks the hole and it allows us to know precisely where to cut the notch, okay?
Okay.
So we need a burn hole. So we're just gonna go ahead and put the spindle in there, and I'm just gonna walk through a few principles. There's something called floating hands. If you can keep your hands up at the top, and because I'm pointing my hands like, look at up.
So you're not slipping down the stick and losing real estate?
Yeah, so I could actually just make the fire with keeping my hands up here and never travel down. That takes a little bit of practice. Okay, so normally when people start, they're doing this downwards travel like this.
Right.
What you're about to see me do. Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine.
I was gonna say, that's all I got,
That's okay, but another thing that beginners do is they use one hand and they kind of like, see, they're like, see, I'm not moving the other hand, I'm just moving this hand.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna use both hands. You're gonna use from the tip of your fingers to the base of your palm, I guess, right? And you're going to go back and forth, even if you are traveling, because you're gonna get a lot more spin and rotation, a lot more friction, a lot more heat. There's the smoke,
man,
stop.
that was fast.
Okay, what we don't wanna do is burn too much through this board, and then we burrow all the way through without creating an ember, so we stop. Now I'm gonna come and I'm going to make another cut. And this cut is the most important cut of friction fire, okay? It's this step out pyramid cut. It's gonna look like this, okay? Yeah, it's a pizza pie being cut directly to the center of the circle. So I just made 2 lines, I haven't made the cut yet. And then when I step it down this way, you can see how the lines step out now like a pyramid.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna come underneath just like that too. So it continues to step out. And now what I'm gonna do is take my knife, and what I've done is I've created 2 stop cuts.
Yeah.
So my knife, I could lightly push and it will want to come out, or the wood will want to pull out exactly at the line that I've scored.
Okay, you made 2 grooves on the side. And
Yes. So we don't want the wood to crack out on the sides. We only want it to crack out where we've scored. So I'll continue to keep working that score and making like little beaver chew cuts, okay? Fire needs oxygen and it needs the heat. So we're gonna put down the heat through the friction. We already saw that at smokes.
Yeah.
The notch is gonna allow the oxygen to combust.
It needs to breathe.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It needs to breathe. Everything needs to get a little bit of breath. You're seeing it right here. And then turning it one last time, you're seeing the underneath part. All this is gonna work together. Now we're gonna create a little ember tray. Coach Chad's ember tray happens to be flammable. I like to use a flammable ember tray because we don't have to take this out. We could just set this in there and this whole thing's gonna become a giant coal.
Yeah.
We're gonna set it down right here. I'm gonna flatten this out, okay? We want a lot of friction. It's making all the friction happen in one little concentrated area versus the entire part. When it's open and it's flat, it's basically gonna grind the entire surface area versus just when it's round, you're only hitting the bottom part that's really heating up.
Okay.
So I think doing this really helps. And then sometimes I'll just sprinkle just a little bit of dirt in the hole.
More friction, filling the gap.
You know that salt guy?
Yeah, salt baby.
All right, so a little bit of that in the hole really helps, like it's gonna grind more. You're actually gonna start, Izzy. Okay, and then it's gonna be like this. If you're grinding, you're gonna do like, just do it for a little bit, and I'll say, okay, just get ready to pass it. When you stop, I want you to stop like this, just stop. Bring your chest over your hands too. Okay, that helps with your body weight to go down into the board.
I can see a little bit of smoke there, Izzy.
Nice, I'm gonna go, and then you can hold it for me.
Yep.
See the dust that's coming in the front that you created?
Is that gonna be our...
That's gonna be the cherry.
Yeah, get a little bit of smoke here.
Go.
You got it? Smell it, baby.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
you can stop, because we made a coal.
Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You got a coal.
Now there's no rush. I'm just gonna take this and just kind of poke it out. It could burn into this board right here because
we've made a little bit of fuel for it.
Yeah, make it burn in there. It's happy. Now you move this over. Okay, set it down. And I wouldn't even take this out. Just set this whole thing in here like this and pinch it around like that. Here, you guys both stand up. Start blowing on it, moving it around like we talked about.
Yep.
Adding that oxygen on it.
It's the circle of life.
Starting to smoke. I feel the heat. Oh, there she goes.
There it is. Walk it over right over there.
All right.
And look how it's you have a torch, you know? It's set up properly.
We made fire!
Fire! Yeah! A few basic techniques. I like that weight over the top. That's very important. You know, holding it in place. That's very important.
Preparation is the most important thing with fire, right? Off camera, we had to be prepared. We had to make a tinder bundle.
Right.
If we were to continue this on into a fire, we would want to have all the kindling and everything set up too.
Absolutely.
And you guys already knew that. You talked about it right away. So
Yeah.
you would survive.
Thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, get down in the comment section. Let us know what you thought. If maybe you used a different technique, maybe you used something else.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. Again, Chad, where can the people find you if they want to look you up, man?
Mr. Chad Keel on Instagram, or just Nature Reconnections, the name of our class if you'd like to take some classes here in Southern California.
Well, Fireteam, catch you on the next one.
This one was given to me in Pakistan by this dude who swore he took out all the terrorists himself.
Of course.
Okay, we ready? All right, so now we're just...
Earth skills instructor.
That's it. Earth Skills Instructor. Cool.
That was great.
That was great. That's it.
Yeah.